Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to both the Spurs Talk Show and Football Inc. today, this evening. How are you? How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better than I am today. I mean, yesterday was quite a long day for yours truly. Johnny had a long night as well over in Tottenham. He enjoyed himself. We're going to talk all about that. We've got other things to talk about as well. We are asking you for some favors before we get into it. Please smash the like button, guys, on the video. Please hit the subscribe if you haven't already on both Football Inc. and on Spurs Talk Show. Make sure you get across whichever one you come in on. Make sure you get across to the other. Smash the like on both. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already on both. Notification button should be squeezed. Comments should be dropped. And we are available on all of your podcast platforms. You can find Spurs Talk Show and you can find Football Inc. all on the Spotify where you can watch us back, and of course on Apple Pods and Amazon Pods and all that jam. So if that's your flavor, then please find us by searching the name of the channel, and then or go into the description below. You'll find the links, and make sure you give us a rating, a follow, and a review. We are also, of course, sponsored by OK Jersey. Now you know what to do. 8% off using code either FINC, F-I-N-C, or code Sean at checkout, depending on which one you want. Doesn't matter. And you can obviously get 8% off. They've got new clobber all the time. They've got new gear, new ideas.
Got a new top, Sean. They've got a new top.
They have got a new top in there, BetMGM one. It's very nice, and they're getting more and more all the time. So keep going back, keep checking what you look for. Go a size up. Support the channel by supporting them. We appreciate all of you guys. Let's get into the show. Johnny, how are you, man? You okay?
I was buzzing. Yeah, I was buzzing. A little bit peed off with some of the decisions of the referee. And just before I came on the show, about half an hour ago, I saw that breaking news: Tottenham's Igor Tudor has been charged with misconduct following comments that he made after their game on March the 1st, nearly 3 weeks ago. It has taken them 3 weeks to charge Igor Tudor with comments made after the game. We got the Premier League on our backs. We got the PGMOL treating us like dog shit. We've got the press. We got the TV circling like vultures. I've had enough of it, Sean, right?
What did he do? What comments?
It's taken them 3 weeks, mate.
After what game?
Fulham.
What did he say after Fulham that was so
mate, I don't care. Have you seen the way the press talks to him? Have you seen the way?
Oh, okay, right. I got you. One of those things was it? Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah. So it's the interview. Oh, yeah, fuck them. Absolutely fuck them. Yeah.
I mean, but why? Why is it taking them 3 weeks? Okay, let's announce it. You've just had a victory. You're just starting to buzz. You got a win. You got something going. Oh, I know. Let's charge him with misconduct. Yeah. I mean, honestly.
Oh, who gives a shit? It's misconduct. What's he going to get? Like a 50 quid fine or something?
But I mean, like, piss off and find something else to do. Find another toy to fucking shake around and trample on, right?
Yeah,
I've had enough
definitely
of it.
Hear that, mate.
I mean, last night, right? I mean, I'm sick of refereeing decisions. I'm sick of the VAR. Absolute wank they are. I've never seen anything like it. Decisions after decisions. Poor refereeing, poor VAR. And everything else that's going on at the moment, right? They can't let it lie. They really can't. And I've just had enough of it all, to be truthful with me, mate. All right. But you know what? All it does is it makes the fans stand stronger together. And last night in the stadium was the best atmosphere. I don't know how it came across on TV, but for me, it was the best atmosphere I've witnessed or felt at a Spurs ground in a long, long time. Apart from the guy who sat behind me, who was talking to his American counterpart about what he'd had for dinner, what he had at Auntie Doris's. And I wanted to say
that's the premium section for you, mate. Some of them just don't. Mate, when I was there with you and Ricky on the first game of the season, and you were like, Sean, Ricky, shut the fuck up and watch the game. And me and Ricky are going, hey, what do you think about this then, Rick?
Yeah, but this guy was talking about his dinner, Sean. It's like how they do a lovely cream cheese bagel. Like, fuck off, mate. I don't care. This is crucial. It's a big game going on.
Yeah, it was a big game, and it was a cracking game. Johnny, can I just quickly before we get into the show, I just want to apologise to everyone who might have been offended by if I went wild last night. I don't remember.
It was your birthday, Sean.
I don't remember anything from after the game, right? I woke up at like 4 o'clock this morning and I was just like, oh God, what did I say? What did I do? And I barely had the courage to even like skim through the after show thing. So if I said anything, if I did anything, if I was rude to anyone, public apology. I was in one of those. I was like beyond drunk levels. You know, I drink a lot, guys. Beyond levels of alcohol, like those magnums sent me sideways, and I had too many of them. So I'd like a blanket apology to anyone that I may have offended. It wasn't intended, you know. I'm a good-spirited guy normally. If I said anything, I probably could have said a whole number of things, and if I did, then I am sorry, guys.
Listen,
100% sorry.
It was your birthday. You know, we had a Magnum too far. And we're not talking about chocolate ones either. But listen, he had a good time. I
had a great day, man. I had a fantastic day. And the football, let's talk about the football, obviously. The football, Johnny, was exactly what I wanted. Obviously, it could have gone a little bit better had we, got the result. But on the balance of play, the damage was done in the first leg. And it was always going to be a real uphill battle. And you could make the argument that the additional 2 games against Barcelona would have been just an unnecessary headache that wasn't going to have the desired outcomes anyway. We weren't going to beat them in all likelihood, or 99% probability. So the best thing that could have come from the game for me was a victory, get that monkey off of Igor Tudor's back, a good performance, another demonstration of spirit and fight and desire and teamwork. And there's some really nice football in there as well. Some really nice patterns of play that we haven't really seen for a long time with the ball. What was your thoughts?
I mean, I did a video beforehand that I had to do about 5 times because I kept getting interrupted. I'll have to find another place. I was doing it by the clock, and people coming up to me, watch your videos, John. Like you do it after I've done mine. But I was going on.
Don't you know I'm working? Can't you see I'm working?
Can't you see I'm working? Turning into someone else I know who shan't be named. But the thing was, I said in the video prior to the game that for me, this wasn't about going through. This was about momentum. This was about creating a win. I believe we were going to win last night. I always believed we were going to win. And I think the momentum from the Liverpool game was carried through into last night's game. And let's be honest, if it hadn't been for some poor refereeing decisions and some terrible sort of stuff, then, it might have been even better for us. But I think there was so many positives last night, Sean. Great to see a manager. And we've all slagged off Igor Tudor. None of us thought he was going to be the man at the beginning, but he's got Archie Gray playing in his favourite role.
This kid is really starting to. Yeah. It's not just 1 or 2 games now, Johnny. It's starting to become a pattern. In this tough spell, he really has stood up and been counted, and a couple of other people as well, which we'll come to. But I'm really impressed with Archie Gray, and he's starting to show signs of what he could become next season. He could become a really, really important player for us next season.
100%. But for me, what we saw was fight, passion. We saw Archie Gray playing in his right position and benefiting from it, not playing at left back, centre back, or right back. We saw Mathys Tel. Yes, he gave the ball away. Yes, he made some wrong decisions, but he kept going and going and going. Pressing. We pressed high up in the pitch. Much more impressive. I also saw something which we hadn't seen, which was centre-backs pushing all the way forward. He's encouraging his centre-backs to go forward. It's sort of like...
Well, they had to, didn't they, really, in that... Go on, sorry, Matt.
But it was like a bit of an Ange Postecoglou with a sedative. There was a balance between the two, but there seemed to be more of a belief, Sean, and that fed through to the crowd. Yeah, the crowd.
Well, the crowd seemed like they were good, but what was the capacity? What was the the attendance? What was the number? Was there a lot of empty seats?
Round me, there was quite a few empty seats, which I took exception to. But I thought the fans fed off it. A half time. Fantastic atmosphere. They all linked up together, and that was it. 50,000. Well, listen, it would have been more had they.
It's a lot. But the Atletico Madrid fans. Someone came on the show. I seem to have a vague recollection of someone coming on who'd been to the game. Was it? Oh, it was Shaz. Shaz came on and said he was sat in the north end, And he said there were loads of Atletico Madrid fans that had got into the Tottenham end, but it wasn't like a problem. It was like they were fine. It was just obviously.
Oh no, I was talking to some. I was talking to some before I came in. You know, it was all very easy. But the same, you know, with Madrid. You know, me and Lubo. I mean, you know, I've always liked Archie Gray, but you know, the fact is, it was so frustrating watching him play at right back, left back, and centre back. When, you know, if you look on any of his socials, all his socials have got a 6 on the end. That tells you all you need to know. But even the games where I
think, to be fair though, Johnny, even when he has played in the 6, like I think that like Lubo has obviously backed his guy vocally throughout the bad games as much as the good games, and continued with it. And I think he got his flowers. I gave him his flowers last night because the guy is sort of coming of age. But even when he did play in the 6, I totally take your point about the kind of versatility can be a drag. Because if you are known for someone that can do a job anywhere, then you're going to be used anywhere and everywhere. And you're going to be judged if you're playing left back as though you were a left back, or right back as though you're right back. And it's unfair to do that. But there have been times when he's played as a 6. Last season, for example, in the Liverpool game and the Villa game, I remember where he just got walked through. But I think he's just improving his confidence, his timing, his tempo. And certainly he looks like he's able to now, I think he's learning to read the game better, and his ability to like know when to push, know when to step, know when to drop off. But I don't know. Like a couple of swallows doesn't make a summer, Johnny, right? But he's certainly
it doesn't
improve, and it really, I think it's nice to see. Nice to see.
Yeah, his footwork is really good. It always has been. You know, if you watch the game against Chelsea when he's playing for Leeds, and some of the other games that I watched him in, which first drew my attention to him. But look, for me, I think the biggest difference is the screen and pass protection that he's had from Pape Sarr. Now, Pape Sarr is not going to get flowers from anyone right now because he seems to have been a scapegoat for many. But I thought in the last 2 games, he's been absolutely superb.
Who?
He's been covering. Yeah, he's been covering and allowing Archie to flourish in that position. And he's been doing, they got a lot of legs in those positions. And I'll be interested to see. I'm not sure 100% whether Paulinho will rush straight back into that team, because I think he likes the fact that he's got the legs in there, and we know Paulinho doesn't have them. And the
Paulinho might be used as like a 60th, 70th minute. If we're up against Forest and we've got a lead to protect, he might be the guy you bring on. He should be the guy that you bring on to help see the game out, you know, in the sort of second half, later on in the game. But
I would say that the fact that Forest have rested the majority of their first team tonight against Mitterrand. Yeah. You know, no Igor Jesus, no Morgan Gibbs-White.
Interesting.
No Murillo. Who else have they rested? Let me have a look.
What was the score? What was the score in the first leg?
1-0 to Mitterrand.
At Forest.
At Forest. So Forest have rested Igor Jesus, Morgan Gibbs-White, Sangare, Elliot Anderson, Nico Williams, Ola Ayana, and Murillo, and Mathys Tel.
And Anderson.
So, yeah. So basically,
they're giving up the ghost for the Premier League
3,
game.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players they've dropped.
Wow.
For the game, so they'll be fresh.
Yeah, you know, fresher than us then. Fresher than us, probably. You know?
Yeah, fresher than us. Well, listen, Marinakis has worked out as much as he'd like to win a European trophy, and let's be honest, you know, they could do a Spurs, survive somehow, and end up in the Champions League. But he's obviously given that up, or the thought of giving it up. One would think that Mitterrand would be favourites tonight in that tie. But look, there were so many encouraging things. You know, I think it was fantastic that Igor Tudor has dropped Xavi Simons for all these games. Because if you'd watched Xavi Simons' body language walking around the place, it was like this sense of entitlement. And I think Igor saying to him, you know, you might have the reputation, mate, but it counts for nothing. You have to show it. And it was like last night that someone had put a rocket up his arse and said, you know what, I'm going to show you what I've got. And yes, he played him more centrally, which made a huge difference. But he was still going. I mean, at the end, at the final whistle, he collapsed on that pitch. He'd given literally everything. He was absolutely shot come the end of the game. So
do you think that there's signs? Do you think that there's a like, listen, I hear you about the Xavi Simons, like, entitlement thing, right? He spoke about the idea when he came. I chose Tottenham because Thomas Frank said things that I don't usually hear. I usually get the smoke blown up my arse. And this guy said, no, there's areas of your game you need to improve on. I like that. I'm used to being told all this, that, and the other. At the same time, and yeah, look, certainly there's been an element of
his
him.
Body language last night.
Body language sucks, right? But
last night was brilliant.
Is there an angle though to sit there and say it's not an excuse, right? But part of the explanation of why he's been a little bit forlorn and frustrated is because for the best part of 9 months, especially under Thomas Frank around Christmas time and that, it took Thomas Frank a while to give him the chance. He kept subbing him off or like not starting him as well. But then when Xavi Simons would get the ball and break forward, the other midfielders around him weren't given the permission to join up. They always used to stop on the halfway line, like it was a design by design by Thomas Frank to sit there and say, I'm more worried about the defense than I'm worried about the attack. And so Xavi Simons is sort of going, like, I'm a creative player, but you're giving me nothing to create with. And so, like, do you think that part of the frustration, like I say, not an excuse, because you still got to get on with your job and do what your manager asks of you, but part of it is at least to some degree understandable in that he was sort of being asked to play with one hand tied behind his back.
In short, no, because I think you've been feted all your life as a top footballer growing up as a young kid at Barcelona, coming through their famed academy. You've been at PSG. There's a reason why you haven't quite made it there, and I think. Putting him on the bench. Look, there was a reason why Igor Tudor, there was a reason why Igor Tudor chose not to play him as well, Sean. It wasn't just by chance, mate. We don't watch training. We don't watch, we don't see the entitlement and the body language. What I can tell you is at Crystal Palace, for example, when he was in the tunnel, body language shocking, warming up, shocking. And when he got called to come on, it was like, I can't be arsed with this. Now, what I would say to you is that something changed last night when he came onto the pitch. I said, when he came on, something about him looks different tonight. Don't know what it was, but he wasn't none of this throwing his hands up, moaning to the players. There seemed to be a togetherness last night in the team. Even at half time, no one went off down the tunnel on their own. They all waited for each other and they all went off together. And
yeah, I liked that at half time as well. That was good. Haven't seen that for a while.
And I just think that Xavi's link-up play with Archie Gray was very good, and with Mathys Tel. And I just think that, he needed to kick up the arse, Sean. I think that, Igor Tudor not playing him, we were asking, well, hang on a minute, he's got no players. You got no players, yet you're not playing Xavi Simons. What is going on? Well, if that's the Xavi Simons we're going to see from now to the end of the season, I applaud Igor Tudor for what he's done to get him motivated. We saw a lot of players last night perform to a high standard.
It's nice to see the foot, like when you've got, like, when the handbrake has to come off because you've got 3 goals you've got to catch up, right? Now, we had the option. We were speaking about this before the game on Football Inc. And by the way, guys, if you are watching this, there's 500 and something people across both channels right now. Obviously, I can't see the makeup, but assuming that the majority of you right now are on Spurs Talk Show, please take the moment here to click this link and go and spend some time on Football Inc. as well. I'll bring up as many comments as I can so that everyone can see it on both channels. But please, we go over there and smash the subby to Football Inc. Johnny and I are trying to get to 7K as quick as possible. We appreciate all the support. Johnny, when you take the handbrake off and attack is the best form of defense, so they say, right? And so I'd love to see Tottenham. I think it was quite composed. Right? We didn't go gung-ho from the first minute like Chelsea did. Chelsea get picked off by going too far too soon, and then suddenly it's 1-0 to PSG, then it's 2-0, and the game's done, right?
Yeah.
Tottenham build into the game, get the first goal. Well-worked move. Could have got the second goal. I mean, what a play that was by Archie Gray. The way he sort of dipped inside. I think it was around Giuliano. I think it was Simeone boy.
Tel just needed to square it, didn't he?
Yeah, but the ball to Kolo Muani was delicious from Archie Gray. Kolo Muani doesn't hang on to it too long. If that was Kudus there, Kudus might take it down the trap too far to himself. You know, if you're going to throw the accusations of sort of somewhat selfishness at Mathys Tel, which I think are a little bit, I think they're fair. That I think part of his game that he needs to sort of smooth down a little bit as he improves as a player. He does need to sometimes think about maybe shooting isn't always the right thing to do. Sometimes there are other things, but Kolo Muani pulls it across. Lovely first time hit from Xavi Simons. This fucking need to always take a touch. It slows things down so often. If you've got the ability to hit it first time sometimes, yes, you're going to sometimes get it wrong. This one, it wasn't one of those times. It gets spun out to Mathys Tel. Delicious first touch from Mathys Tel. You can't argue with him having a shot, but ultimately the better solution would have been to have spread it, to have slide it across the goal. And who was there to tap it in if they did? Archie Gray, who started the move 10 seconds earlier, basically on the halfway line. So what an absolute driving run he must have made to have caught up with the play. And had that have gone in, Johnny, that would have been one of the most loveliest bits of play that I've seen from Tottenham this season. And it all stems from having that kind of, I don't know, that mentality shift where we've got to go and we've got to score goals tonight. So the handbrake is off. Clearly, the instruction from Igor Tudor was be patient, but don't be afraid to do things. You've already mentioned there was license for the centre-backs to get forward, license for everyone to be dynamic. There were so many switches and people popping up all over the place.
Jed was on the right, then he was on the left. It was like...
Lovely to see, mate. Lovely to see.
Listen, you got to give Tudor plums, right? He's got no assistant coach. He's got no Heitinger. He's got no Cochrane. The other Brentford guy is gone. The guy's down to a bare bones. He was out on the pitch. Normally, the manager's out there and he's got trainers out there. He was out there talking to all the players, blowing his whistle and telling them what to do. Like, he's doing it all at the moment, right? On his own. Okay? He's been hounded by the press. He hasn't had a hard, he's right up against it with all the injuries. And I think he's installed some sort of confidence and belief in them. Look, come on, do you want to die? Do you want to die and go down in a whimper, or you want to go down fighting for what you believe in? Because let me tell you, those players can look at themselves, oh, it's nothing to do with me, but that's a tarnish on your record, on every one of them's record, on Cuti Romero's, Micky van der Ven. It's a tarnish on all their records, and they need to look at themselves in the mirror, all of them now, and start fighting. Now, listen, look. I'm under no illusion.
On that point, Johnny, just quickly, Micky van der Ven and Romero, lots of question marks before the game from all of us, myself included. Who should play? Should Micky van der Ven play? We think he's a rat. We're not sure. He said it's nonsense. Did he, was he going to step up, stand up and be counted? The performance against Liverpool came without either of those two, without Romero, without van der Ven. Was that the reason why we started playing football? Because those sort of toxic bad apples, we were thinking maybe is the case. They were out of the team. Both of them in last night. I thought both of them had really good performances as well. Very impressed with both of them in terms of their discipline and their willingness to spread the passes. Look, and nice time tackles as well. It was very good, I thought.
Listen, make no bones about it. Nottingham Forest will be much harder than that game last night. Much, much harder. First of all, they're resting up. Second of all, that those Forest players all know what's at stake. They know full well that should they lose to Spurs, that could put them right in the dog shit, right? Yeah. But they also know the confidence of how they played us off the pitch up at the City Ground, right? They played us off the pitch, smashed us 3-0. It could have been even worse. And, we don't have a lot. We have a lot of players that will be missing for that game still. But, if we've got the belief, I think having Richie back is going to be huge. Because Richie like a dog with Murillo, because Murillo's a bit of an animal.
That's a tasty battle, isn't it? To come, yeah. That to me was the frustrating thing last night, Johnny, because some of the crosses that were getting put in, we spoke about Mathys Tel off the left. We haven't really spoken too much about him yet, but he also popped up on the right hand side. It was him that put the cross in for the goal from Kolo Muani that puts us 1-0 up. I genuinely think that Mathys Tel's crossing ability is starting to emerge. He's very, very good at being
perfect for Richie.
Perfect for Richie. And that was the frustration about last night. Dom Solanke having a bad ankle and minor niggle. I don't know, whatever. Well, we've got no idea the severity of it, but not having him and not having Richalison, it was just a frustration, because if you did have the quality of those crosses that were coming into a box that was filled with people that are better in the air, and I think Mathys Tel's corner kicks are very, very, some of them last night, I think one of them he massively overhit, but But the vast majority of his corners have been getting into the nice zones that can lead to opportunities. I think that Mathys Tel with the right set forwards in the box with like aerial threats, I think Tottenham could do a thing or two against Forest.
Listen,
albeit Forest do have very good centre backs, capable centre backs in the air. So
they do, but I know from under Thomas Frank that Richalison was given the Harry Kane role of heading the ball away. In the box, Sean, I think will leave space for the likes of two of our players who are good in the box. That's Micky van der Ven and Cuti Romero, who are both good in the air. So to have Richie, Cuti Romero and Micky delivering the crosses from Mathys Tel, I think we're going to be far more of a threat from those set pieces last night coming on Sunday. But it's going to be a tough game, and we'll see whether Archie Gray can match up with Elliot Anderson and Morgan Gibbs-White and the rest. It's not going to be easy.
What did you think about their first goal, Johnny?
Who, Spurs' first goal?
No, their first goal. I know you put the video out. I heard your commentary on it. Do you still feel the same? Madrid's first goal. I'm sorry, Madrid's goal, the equaliser.
100%, mate. Listen, mate. Look, there was a moment in the first half where Jed Spence was going and to try and go to the goal, and he literally went shoulder to shoulder. Yeah, shoulder to shoulder. The guy's gone down. The referee's blown a whistle, and he's had a word with him, and he's going like, look, what's going on? What's going on? Xavi Simons was going to hit the ball. He was just about to take a shot. The guy's made no attempt to play the ball, and he's hit him in the hip. Yeah. I mean, I was under no illusion. The second that happened, I'm off out my seat. That's a foul. It's a bit embarrassing listening.
Your ability to watch the game, record every minute of the game, and commentate on the game. I've heard of triple threats, right? Can you act, sing, and dance? You are the triple threat of football commentary, mate. Because I don't know how. If I'm watching the game through my phone, I can't really take it in. I certainly can't commentate. You can do the whole lot, mate. You're like fucking. I don't know.
Fuming.
You're like Matthew McConaughey.
That's a foul. That's a foul. I think I said that's a foul. Oh my God, that's a foul. What's going on? What's going on? And then when Julian Alvarez scored, I lost it. I lost it. I had to cut the video off. I was effing and blinding after that. But I got to say, on the plus point of view, like talking about the other team, I thought Julian Alvarez was absolutely sensational. And I think, he's the reason that Manchester City have not been the same. They made a huge mistake letting him go to Atletico Madrid. There was one moment in the first half where he beat like 2 or 3 players, and he just pinged the ball to the other side of the pitch. And I got up and I started clapping, going, what a guy behind me goes, the guy behind me goes, you're a Madrid fan. I said, no, but I can appreciate fucking football, mate. Go back to your cream cheese bagel. I mean, it's just like.
Do you remember when I sat with you? Do you remember when I sat with you and the guy accused me of being a Chelsea fan? I was like,
yeah.
I wanted to go, do you have any fucking idea, bro? Yeah,
Chelsea fan.
Have a look on YouTube, you donut.
Listen, look. I think it was a major turning point, because when that goal went in, it was like someone let the air out of the balloon. In the concourse at half time, everyone was absolutely buzzing. Can you believe what you just saw? It was unbelievable. That's what we've been asking for. And they came out, and some donuts who take so long to come back out. Oh, they scored. What? So a lot of people, that's probably why my video that I posted on, if you want to watch it, it's on Football Inc. I posted it, or on X or Insta. A lot of people didn't see it, and that's why it's probably getting a lot of coverage today. But I thought, the heads did not drop, For the second game running, mate. For the second game running, we fought to the end, and we got out. We won the game late. Right, we won. We drew the game with Liverpool in the 89th minute. We got the winner there in the 91st minute. Xavi Simons running and getting the ball. Still got 2 goals to fight for. But you know what? 4 minutes. We had a chance as well in the 93rd. We had a good chance in the 93rd minute. Another penalty?
Another penalty shout. Maybe, yeah. Who was that? Who was it? Was it Berghvall who got turned over? But he sort of fell over. Oh, Conor Gallagher, wasn't it? He sort of fell over a bit. I don't think that was a pen, to be honest. But
I've got to tell you, you know what was really nice? When Atletico was, a couple of things. When Atletico Madrid got the equaliser and they went to the centre circle, the crowd rallied. Yeah. And we're singing their names, right? And that was brilliant because previously, right, they appreciated the fans knew exactly what they just witnessed. And I'll tell you who was fantastic again as a cameo, and he's probably not going to get, the flowers that all the others are going to get. But again, my boy, Callum Oluwesi, right, he came on, some of the one touches he did, and he was the guy that set up Xavi Simons when he got fouled into the box. That one touch, that Xavi went on to and put the ball in. But look,
I like the way he sort of runs. It's like the ball's sort of coming towards him.
He glides, mate.
He barely sort of touches it. He just had a little one touch passing and then moves into space. I'm not in any way making a comparison to the level of the player, but just the natural thought of just you haven't necessarily got to do much, right? But you're running, someone passes to you, do a little a bare tap 1-2, like barely touching it, but then you carry on moving into space. He's always doing that as well. I'm not, again, careful how this is interpreted, guys. I'm not comparing him as a player. I'm just saying similar concept to how Xavi Iniesta used to how Iniesta and Xavi at Barcelona used to do it. He's always doing the left, right, looking for space and always continually moving. Not comparing the standard of the player, just saying it's a lovely thing to see a young guy be mobile, move, always trying to find new little pockets of space because it gives the opposition midfielders and the six things to think about. I think that bodes well for the future of the player in a game that's increasingly becoming a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been a big advocate of Micky Moore and Callum, right? Whilst Micky gets all the plaudits, and rightly so, he gets a lot of the plaudits, I always thought that Callum, you remember how mental I was going when I heard he could be going to Torino. I was like up in arms, like what is going on? He's our under-21 captain. There's something graceful about the way he plays the football.
He'll need to bulk up though as well. He's a very lightweight. He needs to
he's lightweight, but listen,
it's just the way the game is these days, isn't it, mate? The game is all about bigger, stronger, faster. What is he? 5'8". He's not a big guy. He's quite light. I know he's only young. I know he's only.
But we want our own. We want our own.
Of course. He's a bright talent. Yeah,
listen.
I know. At times last night, Johnny, you were seeing people last night at one point in that second half, and you were seeing link up between, Lucas Berghvall, Archie Gray. And I think Oluwesi was on the pitch at that time.
Yeah, he was.
Right?
He was.
And I was sitting there going, that's the future Tottenham. In 2 or 3 years' time, that could be a fantastic midfield. Reasons to be very cheerful. Let me just get a couple of super chats, Johnny, and then we'll get back into it. Big up to Dino Chudini, always here, always supporting. Not sure which channel this is coming through, mate, but we appreciate you nonetheless. Choo to you, Dino. Choo. To seeing you on Sunday, my man. It's going to be wild. If the atmosphere, I really hope that the all of the online sort of movement is going to be recognised and jumped upon for Sunday. I really do hope it, because we can make that place a fortress, and it will be an important difference. Big up to Sava, very generous Sav. You don't need to, mate. I really appreciate you, buddy. He said, I'm not sure again which channel this is on, but he said you did nothing.
I think it'd be yours.
Hey, here's some money. Get yourself a Helga.
Sava. Just for your thing, I passed your sandwich shop in Southgate last night. I'm sure you know the one.
Cypriot Sava sandwich or something, isn't it?
Yeah, Sava's Cypriot sandwich bar. Yeah, looked very nice. Too late for me. It
turned out that it was Stell's best friend's sister or something who owns it, right?
Something like that. Who's a gooner?
Who's a gooner? Yeah. Big up to you, Sav. Yeah, listen, mate. Like I say, I don't know what I was saying last night. I'm pretty sure I do remember coming in hard and banging on about the Mathys Tel, deniers, if you like. So, like I say, anyone that was on the receiving end, it was all jest. It's all jest and all love. Johnny, let me ask you about the rest of the team quickly. I know we've got the other games to go through, but just quickly, we haven't spoken about the backline. What did you think of Micky van der Ven and Romero's performance, and Jedley King and Pedro Porro?
Listen, Jed was a bit sloppy. I'm a big fan of Jedley King. Bit sloppy in places. He needs to stop tugging his shorts, stop tugging your socks, right? And concentrate on playing the game. Listen, he made a mistake late on in the game, but the recovery tackle was absolutely superb.
Absolutely superb.
Yeah, but he needs to, I'm a big fan of his. As you know, when he was getting slagged off and told to get out of the club, I was behind him. But I think he needs to, as I said, he's always tugging his shorts, pulling up his socks. Mate, cut the crap, mate. Don't care about your hair. Don't care about your socks. Don't care about your shorts. Stop walking around the pitch and concentrate. If you want to be on that plane to America, you're going to have to sort yourself out. There's a great defender in there, Sean. It really is. And there was one thing, I finally saw it. I thought I was going to see it. I saw it for about 2 seconds. Jed Spence on the right and Pedro Porro pushed forward. I saw it for about 5 minutes before it got taken off, Pedro.
That's the thing, though. It was one of those nights where people were popping up all over the place. I remember seeing Romero, Micky van der Ven staying forward. Radu Dragusin was playing as almost like an inside 10 at some point in the game in the first half. It was like I say, Mathys Tel on the left, Mathys Tel on the right. I like that fluidity.
Well, we said under Thomas Frank we didn't have any identity, and I was shocked because I championed Thomas Frank. I hold my hands up. I never expected to see what I saw, but I can almost see an identity to Igor Tudor's game here, in the sense of the pressing as a unit, pressing high up, high intensity, aggressive football, and also more fluid. And also, like I said before, you saw Dragusin pushing up high. You saw Micky van der Ven pushing up high. And we saw Cuti Romero at times like the furthest forward. So I like that. It gives a lot. It gives a lot for the other team to think about, because we're not rigid. Under Frank, we were so rigid. It was almost, you could write it down. And as well, under Ange Postecoglou, you knew what we were going to do. So it was quite easy. As for Micky, Micky
made some really strong challenges last night. One of them was an absolute belter.
He did.
Again, it was still, his foot was off. If he got that one wrong, he could have been off again. He needs to,
mate. The lunging in.
I'm like, oh God, Micky, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, the lunging in. The same with Cuti Romero. I've got to be honest with you. The lunging in. I've got to be honest with you, Sean. I'm seriously worried about the weekend's referee, mate.
Yeah, they're looking for a reason to punish us in the Premier League.
No, you know who the referee is, right?
Oh, no. Sorry, I don't. Go on, who is it?
Michael Oliver.
Ah, that fucking idiot. Yeah.
And who does he not like, mate?
He hates.
And who does he not like, mate?
Yeah,
I said before the last game.
Romero.
He don't like Cuti Romero.
Yeah.
He's got previous with Spurs. Every time I see Michael Oliver, I knew we're in trouble.
He sent him off in the Chelsea game, right? Game week 11 against United. Against Chelsea, sorry. That was when the Ange thing all fell apart. Oliver was in charge then, wasn't he? When Romero sort of went through the ball. He actually won the ball. He took out Garnacho. Who was it?
Oliver was also in charge when, trying to think who it was, took out Ben Davies right in front of him, and he waved play on, and he had to get VAR back. There's been so many incidents with Michael Oliver. It really is.
He doesn't give us anything, does he?
No, he certainly doesn't. And I do believe there's a campaign to get us done, mate.
Yeah, there's certainly a campaign. I mean, look, Richard Masters literally came out and said, we have the strategy. The strategy within the Premier League is to, the intended strategy is to have a new name on the trophy every 5 years. Like, what the fuck? How are the Premier League able to say that? And what does that really mean? You pull the onion layer back a little bit. They are the people that have no impact. They should have no impact on the games. All the Premier League are really there to do is to create the laws, create the rules, and then to create the fixture schedule, right?
Yeah.
But clearly they're not. Clearly they are. If they have an intended strategy, what's to suggest that there isn't things that are getting distributed down to the referees to say, like, We want a new name on the trophy every 5 years. So it's been a while. It's either been Liverpool or Manchester City, and then you look at Arsenal and they get the vast majority of the 50-50s go their way. I don't think any like non-partisan fan would sit there and think that would agree that Arsenal have had a hell of a lot of fortune with regards decision making.
Well, everything.
And so on the other, I'm not suggesting that Tottenham are the victim of some conspiracy, because I think it's at the top end, but at the bottom end, who knows? There's definitely the referees are human at the end of the day, right? They're going to have their favourites. They're going to have the people that they don't like. Roy Keane used to get a yellow. Roy Keane used to say when it was David Ellery, "You might as well give me a yellow card before we go out, mate, because you know it's going to happen on the pitch. Save yourself some time. Give me the yellow card now."
Well, that's what I feel with Michael Oliver, and I've said it every time he's our ref. Oh my God, we're in trouble. I don't feel like we've got the rub of the green this season at all. We really haven't. There's been, not only have we not got the rub, it's key moments like the thing with Gabriel, for example, that thing where the goal should have stood. That could have changed the whole game. Last night's goal, that could have changed the whole game. If we'd have gone on and went 2-0, and then, what would have happened? I think Atletico Madrid, if they'd have gone 2-0 down, their arses would have started flapping, Sean, and the whole stadium would have almost erupted, So it's unfortunate. It is what it is. We had our luck in the first leg because Micky van der Ven should have been sent off. But let's be honest, I don't think Atletico Madrid are great. I think Julian Alvarez is fantastic. I don't think Atletico Madrid are great at all. We gifted them 3 goals. It's... Oh, don't know what happened there. Sean has left the building. I don't know where he's gone, or he's chucked me off. No, he's back. He's back.
Sorry,
he's back.
Little story just before we move on to the other games, Johnny. Yeah. This is the thing you were talking about regarding the Igor Tudor charge. Big up to Hugo for sending the link. So this is what he did.
I've had enough of it, mate.
Tottenham manager Igor Tudor has been charged with misconduct over his claim that referee Thomas Bramall favoured the home team in Spurs' 2-1 league loss at Fulham. Tudor hit out after his relegation threatened side beaten on March the 1st.
Well, you know how bad it was. It was shocking, that game.
Saying Bramall doesn't understand football. The Croat had been angered by the Cottagers' first goal, which he believed happened because of a push by Raul Jimenez on Radu Dragusin before Harry Wilson put the ball into the net.
Right in front of me.
Tudor said, "I didn't like the referee today. Too much of a home team referee. I didn't feel well with him." I love Igor Tudor's no fucks given approach.
Hey,
he just doesn't fucking care, mate. I really like it. All the decisions were on their side. He doesn't understand football. The feeling of what is wrong and what is right. Jimenez was not thinking about the ball. He was thinking how to cheat. He cheated the player, was pushing. It was cheating and it's a foul.
Blatant.
99 out of 100 people will say it's a foul. It's so obvious. The Football Association said Tudor allegedly acted in an improper manner during a post-match interview by making comments that imply bias and or question integrity and or are personally offensive in relation to a match official. I don't see why. I understand that players shouldn't be able to just barrage the referee, so I understand that side of it. But I think a manager should be able to suggest what they want.
Well, can I just ask, why has it taken them 3 weeks to decide this? 3 weeks, and they decide it the day after we've just won a game. Take the gloss off. Let's take those cunts down a peg or two. We'll deliver that. Why didn't they do it after the game?
I don't give a fuck. What's he going to? So he's going to be charged with misconduct. What does that mean? So we'll get a slap on the wrist. If Chelsea can do what they did, which is as my man Simon Jordan said, you weren't an elite team, elite winning team. You were elite cheating team, right? You were elite at cheating. And yet, if they can do all of that over the last 5, 6, 7 years or whatever of Abramovich's reign to create and forge the reputation that still to this day they benefit from, then, and you only get a £10 million fine, then surely saying naughty, hurty words about a referee performance should get you a £5 fine, but in relativity context. So I want Igor Tudor to keep saying that shit. I want Tottenham to carry on sending letters to the PGMOL. I want them to act like they are fed up with what they perceive to be injustices, so that hopefully, as I've said 1,000 times, you get the rub. Hopefully you plant that seed, and for once you get a 50-50 go your way. Now, it didn't work last night, because the referee didn't give the one with Xavi Simons. I actually thought the referee had a good game apart from that. I quite like the way he let the game flow, to be honest. But there was inconsistency with that one because about 5 minutes earlier, Jed Spence got a foul given against him for exactly the same shoulder charge. But it was actually a lesser.
No, less.
And then they gave the free kick to...
The guy wasn't shooting. The guy wasn't shooting on the edge of the box going for goal.
Right. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Right, shall we talk about the other games, mate? Because, look, Newcastle United, big up to them. Unfortunately, they were on the receiving end of an absolute hammering in Barcelona. First half was brilliant. Fantastic open game. Did you watch it? Unbelievable first half.
I was watching. Obviously, I got into the ground just after kickoff, right? Because it was at 5:45. But I saw Anthony Elanga's 2 goals. And was it Rafinha? Can't remember who scored the other one. Who scored the other one?
Oh, hang on. There's so many of them.
The first half. Bernal. Marco Bernal. Or was it in the second half?
Rafinha, Mark Bernal, Lamine Yamal got a pen, Fermin Lopez and Lewandowski got 2 in the second half, as did Rafinha, got a second as well. But that first half was open, wide fucking open.
The second half, it's like they came out and hair flick. Yeah. Is that your papers? He obviously told them a few things and absolutely tore them apart. And to Sniffer and Foxy, who follow Spurs Football Inc., Newcastle fans.
And
David. Yeah, apologies to you guys. We wished you luck last night and you absolutely got destroyed.
That penalty in the 49th minute or whatever it was, 50th minute, sort of just took the jam out of Newcastle's donut. You go 3-2 down on the stroke of half time, and then it just it changed the dynamic. If they'd managed to get into half time at 2-2, it might have been a different game. Who knows? But in the end, Newcastle's quality showed, and once they got their 4th, it was then just open.
You mean Barca's quality? I mean, I wonder now the flip flopping with Eddie Howe. We want him to stay. We want him to go. He's no good. He is good. He's got us to this stage after the 1-1 draw against Barcelona, where they were unlucky. Let's be honest. A late, very, very late. I think it was 96th minute penalty from Lamine Yamal to draw them level. But the second leg, there was only one winner. Johnny,
they literally, like, over 4 halves of football against Barcelona, arguably the only team that could possibly, apart from PSG in the final, that might be able to disrupt Arsenal. So one of the top 4 or 5 teams in Europe, Barcelona, with unbelievable wealth, unbelievable talent. Newcastle United were their equal, arguably certainly better than Barcelona in the first leg, and in the first half of the second leg, an absolutely wide open, fucking brilliant game of football. Obviously, second leg, it all kind of fell apart for Newcastle. I don't know where Newcastle United go if they want rid of Eddie Howe. Like, I don't think Eddie Howe's the problem at Newcastle. I think what Newcastle need is their owners, who have got more money than they've got more money in the fucking ground than has ever been printed in the history of humanity, and yet they're going to add 10,000 seats to their existing stadium, which is a drop in the fucking ocean. It doesn't really create that kind of massive transformation of revenue generation that, like, what Tottenham did with the stadium. Like, Newcastle, a bit like they've got on paper the ideal owners for ambitious football clubs, but these guys don't want to build a new stadium.
Well, because
they want to just extend the old stadium, which is
because it's billions, and they don't need that. They don't need the.
They can afford it, can't they?
Yes, but it's the handicap of the debt repayments and all the rest of it against the football club.
But you wouldn't need to take debt on, like Newcastle, like it's infrastructure spend, right? So it doesn't come again. Like the owner could literally just fucking put that money in and just do it for free if they wanted to.
Look, so basically they could do what Arsenal did, where Kroenke loans Arsenal hundreds of millions of pounds at a ridiculously low rate that they couldn't get from anywhere else. So in theory, what you're saying is correct, that the Saudi PIF fund could loan Newcastle a couple of bill and say, pay me at 0.5% a year. Right? They could do that
until the alternative payment strategy thing, the third party, what's it called, the associated party transactions, that's still all up in the air. right? Because Manchester City accepted the judgment that the associated party transactions thing is fine, but they still got away with and they still got to have their £1 billion or £2 billion, whatever it was, sponsorship deal with the Etihad. The reason why Manchester City kicked up a fuss and appealed the decision in the first place was because of Arsenal's Kroenke situation, as you're alluding to.
Yeah.
Right. And they said, well, if one's not reasonable, then the other isn't reasonable. So at the moment, as far as I understand it, that stuff is still in arbitration. So whilst it's there, Newcastle they have the owners. It's not £1 billion to fucking shake, rattle and roll is nothing. It's nothing, mate. They've got like, what is it, 600 billion quid in their PIF fund? They could easily do it. And Newcastle could do all of the things that Tottenham's Hotspur Stadium did, all of the cool ideas that are in the Spotify Arena in Spain, all of the ideas that Real Madrid included that Tottenham didn't. They could do everything, and that can be the explosion to make Newcastle an elite team. I don't think Eddie Howe is the problem, but if Newcastle fans don't want Eddie Howe, who is the manager that they think that they can take this to the next level? This
is the thing. Right? Look, I think Barca are there. They are fantastic going forward, but defensively they're not brilliant. They're susceptible to the counter-attack with the high line. I want to see what happens, Sean, when Barcelona go back to Atletico Madrid. In the Copa del Rey, Barcelona played them and lost 4-0 to Atletico Madrid. Why? The same reason Spurs couldn't do anything. They couldn't stand on their feet. Do you think that before the game takes place, that there's going to be a complaint from Barcelona about the pitch? Because they certainly complained massively after that game. And that knocked them out of the Copa del Rey because Barcelona beat Atletico Madrid 3-0 in the return leg at the Camp Nou, or the Nou Camp. And you can see a situation where Arsenal end up playing Atletico Madrid. You could just see it. I think Arsenal could easily waltz into this final the way things are going. And by the time one of the other teams comes, they would have had, look at the other side. You've got Liverpool, Real Madrid, PSG, and who else did I mention? Who have I forgotten? PSG, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and Bayern Munich.
Oh, Bayern Munich. Sorry, that's the other side.
Yeah. And on Arsenal's side, it's far weaker, far weaker.
Arsenal have got
Sporting.
Arsenal Sporting, and then Barcelona Atletico. So it's going to be Arsenal Barca in the probably Arsenal Barca.
It depends how they deal with that pitch, Sean. Because as I said,
they slipped over. Yeah, they won't make the same mistake twice, though. Surely, right? They're not idiots, are they?
Well, Spurs didn't learn from anything, did they? Our scouting, they didn't.
But Barcelona have already been a victim of that. Like if Tottenham went back and played there tomorrow, you'd hope that they would have.
How long are the studs going to be, Sean?
9-inch studs, like stilettos. They're playing in stilettos.
I mean, we're about to run. They'll be walking like that, and they're going to have that much turf stuck to the studs.
Yeah.
Like skewered.
They'll be wearing fucking horse trotters.
Skewered turf.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Let's talk about Harry Kane's goal last night for Bayern Munich, mate. I mean,
I haven't actually seen it, mate. I haven't seen it. I've been so hungover today. What happened? Was it good?
Oh my God, mate. He's dribbled. He's inside the box. He beats one. He beats two, and bang. Absolutely smashes it. And there's a guy who's got a video of it in the stands, and you just hear the Germans go absolutely mental. I mean, the guy has become an absolute hero in literally he's been there season and a half.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. Going forward, they're fantastic. Have they got enough to go and win this? I think
they got earlier on in the season when Bayern played Arsenal at the Emirates,
and they smashed them.
And Arsenal absolutely smashed them, didn't they?
Yeah,
And so that to me is the concern. Is that I just think that Arsenal seem to have the ability to play whatever. Like if they're allowed to play good football, they'll play some amazing. I hate saying this on a Tottenham channel. I know we're doing it on the Football Link channel as well, but like you have to just give them credit. And you know what? The amount of money that Arsenal are going to earn, right? The amount of money, the merit payment money, the Premier League champion money.
They're going to be rolling in it.
They're going to make 150, 160 million from the Champions League if they get to the final.
What about the World Club Championship?
They'll be in the World Cup in 4 years' time. I mean, and they've kind of almost got, like, I hate to say it, I wouldn't say it's a perfect team, but there's not much that needs to be improved upon. Right, so if they do sell Martinelli or Trossard, which you could make the argument they could do better,
they will do. They'll
go and get Julian Alvarez, or they go and get, I don't know, someone like
Alvarez is there,
Yandy Amandi, whoever. Right,
they want those two. I mean, if they get Alvarez, I'm sorry, that takes them to another level. Have him up front.
And you sort of sit there and then you kind of go, they're earning all this money and they really don't need any more first team players, so the money's just going to pile up. Like, they're just making bank. And then they can just go and figure out the next iteration. So any more Max Daumans that are popping up around the world, any more Brazilian super talents, they can go and bring these guys in. They could then probably go and buy themselves a feeder club. Like, they're going to start.
We could have a dynasty, mate.
Yeah, it could become a real problem.
Yeah,
it could become a real problem.
As a Spurs fan, it could become a real problem. It really could. It was an unbelievable goal last night. It really, really was. And the other game,
Liverpool they made light work of Galatasaray in the end, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they would. I thought Victor Osimhen might cause them a few problems, but no. Can Liverpool even? Can we even talk about Liverpool having a chance of winning it?
No.
I mean,
no. I know that they're a different team under the lights at Anfield. I know that they kind of, I mean, last night.
Football's a funny old game, Saint. I mean, it's a funny old game, Sean. You think that there's absolutely not a Scooby-Doo's chance, and I wouldn't be putting any money on them. But you just
who have they got in the next round?
Is it Bayern? Hang on.
Yeah,
someone tell me.
I think Bayern Munich will get past Liverpool.
I think
it will be a Bayern Munich PSG final, semi-final on that side. And it'll be Arsenal, Barcelona. And then, in my opinion, it will be PSG, Arsenal in the final.
It's
PSG, PSG, Liverpool. PSG,
Liverpool, PSG. I mean,
PSG are too good, mate.
I mean, listen, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. I mean, I'm in Japan for those games, so I'm going to be gutted. Won't be able to watch them because I'm like 8 hours ahead. So. Be in the middle of the night, be 4 o'clock in the morning or something when those games go on. But look,
so it's Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, is it, on the other side?
Yeah, and like when you think about it, Arsenal would have had. I mean, Sporting Lisbon. I think Arsenal have already dispatched Sporting Lisbon in games already this season, or was it last season? I can't remember, but I can't see them having any real problem getting through to the final. And like I'm really not sure that Barcelona defensively have got enough to stop Arsenal. Maybe in attack, for sure, but maybe not in defence. Let's have a look at what else. Have you got any other news, Sean? I'm sure there's some.
There's lots of transfer news. Apparently Savio is. Looks like he's coming to Tottenham. I can see this everywhere this morning. It's kind of.
Like, we don't need him anymore.
If Tottenham are staying up, then he'll want to. He's willing to come.
Oh, that's nice.
It's another winger though. Right side, left side, but another guy who's 22, 23, and.
Why would we pay?
Is it cop blocking some of our young winger talent? Like, do you think Mikey Moore, Johnny, is like he's had a. I mean, I know you watch Rangers a lot more than I do. I don't really watch Scottish football, but whenever I've seen Rangers play, I haven't really been impressed with him apart in his overall gameplay. I've seen a few of the goals that he scored, and like they've been great goals and well taken goals and things. And obviously, he's a young guy, so I'm not holding him to some exceptionally high standard. I'm just saying, like his all-round gameplay at that standard to me doesn't like scream that he's suddenly ready to come back and be a first team option at Tottenham in the Premier League. But tell me if you disagree, because I honestly, I'm open-minded if I'm wrong about that. I think
we expect too much. I think it's been an absolutely fantastic move for him. He went up to Rangers with a shit manager who had no idea what he was doing. He had no idea where to play Mikey Moore, played him in the wrong position. And and Rangers were absolutely shocking. And instead of blaming the guys who've been there all the time, the older players, they were blaming Mikey Moore. In comes Danny Roll, and he's changed it around. He's had words with Mikey Moore, and he's told him exactly what he believes in. He believes in his talent, and this is where I want you to play. And he's just got better and better, to the point where he's turned abuse, and I mean proper abuse, into adulation, where they sing his name. When he gets the ball, he scores a goal, Mikey Moore, right? And
where's his best position then, you're saying? Where is it?
I think he's more of a 10, or playing off that left-hand side.
So on that basis...
But playing off the left-hand side, he drifts off from the left-hand side.
Okay, so on that basis then, where does he fit in next year when you have, assuming you stay up, you've got Xabi Simons, you might have Maddison, you might have... I mean, could have said... but I'm saying, do you want Mikey Moore to come back into a scenario where you already have Xavi and James Maddison fighting over?
I'll be honest with you, Sean. The kid is only 18. He was only just 18 when he went to Rangers. Just 18. Let's have some perspective here.
I'm not saying it that way. I'm asking you, like, is he ready for the Premier League, do you think?
I think
or another season on loan.
Another loan. I think next year will be another loan. He's not 19 till mid-August. So, let's have some, perspective here. 18 playing week in, week out. Oh, it's a shit league. No. He's playing every week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, look at Amad Diallo, right? He was there, right? Malik Tillman was there, right? So it's part of their graduation. And
okay, but is the next loan a different standard and more competitive league? Because you might be playing for Rangers.
Germany.
You're playing against Kilmarnock. You're playing against Dundee. You're playing against Hibernian. You're not playing against decent teams.
Yeah, but you know what, Sean? It makes a man of you. Have you seen the league, mate? Some of the challenges, mate. And when you're playing against Celtic, I don't know if anyone watched the Old Firm game last week in the Cup. Now that was some feisty game. Yeah. Listen,
so what's the next move? The next move, Germany. Yeah, Germany. You think?
No, I would say like a Germany. Yeah, I would say Germany, or maybe top Championship, or maybe a lower Prem club. But I don't think
there's not many lower Prem clubs than us right now, Johnny.
No, that's true, mate.
I think we got to recalibrate where we see ourselves in the pecking order at the moment. Gee whiz,
I mean, honestly, Sean, like Savinho, right? Let's be blunt here, right? When they were quoting 80 million, and all Spurs fans got excited when we started watching Savinho play. How many times did you and I on Football Inc. go, dodged the bullet there, Sean? Right? The fact that he's been injured, the fact that he hasn't really done it, and all we hear is Pep saying, oh, he's a great talent. He's got a great future here. Well, he hasn't been getting a lot of minutes.
Yeah, and Pep's fucking off. Clear as day to me. I mean, I might be wrong about this. Who knows, right? I'm happy to be wrong, but it looks to me like Pep Guardiola is going to leave at the end of the season, just when the 115 charges drops. And it
just in time. Just in time.
Do you think, mate, that Savinho, for me, Savinho, the best performances I've ever seen. I watched Savinho at Girona, and I thought, wow, this kid's got something special, right? Because you factor in his age there, you factor in the fact that he's Brazilian, and you're like, oh, is this guy going to be the next insert whichever Brazilian winger, South American sort of winger you want? But he's come to the Premier League, and in the 2 seasons he's had at Manchester City, I really think he's struggled with the physicality. I really think he's Jeremy
Girona, he was unbelievable, right?
Yeah, but the Spanish league doesn't if you're a lightweight. Look at Brian Hill.
Yeah, he's turned into Brian Gill.
Exactly, right. So just horses for courses. You can be flamboyant, creative, technical, and in Spain, week in, week out, at least you're not going to experience the rough and tumble of what you're going to experience in the Premier League. I don't know whether Savio's future is better served being back in Spain.
Listen, for me, unless he's coming for like 30 million, 35 million, I'm not interested, right? 80 million, do me a favour. We spunked so much money at this club, right? Yeah. Go and find the next Savinho and, and spend the money. Yeah,
the Rayan or
I look
whatever.
At Arsenal. I look at Arsenal. They're getting rid of Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Trossard, and they're looking at Tonali. They're looking at Rafael Leao, Yan Diamonde, Julian Alvarez. different level, mate. Different level. You know, I've got no. Look, you're going to have to be a great salesman if Spurs stay up this season, to pitch the story about where you want to go as a club. To top players next season, it's going to be a battle. But I think
that's why you can't have that fucking idiot Johan Lang.
No, definitely not,
near
mate.
The
he
sales
couldn't
pitch.
sell me gold, mate. He couldn't sell me gold for a fiver. I think the thing is, I think next year, if we stay up, will be an absolute blessing not to have Europe. I mean, personally, I'll massively miss it. But we've looked at Manchester United seriously struggle for such a long time in the Premier League. Yep. Yet they are sat there now, third place. All the rest of the teams are tiring, playing 2-3 games a week, what have you. They've got one game a week.
Business end of the season. That's why they're doing so well.
They were knocked out of every cup, weren't they? They were knocked out of everything.
They're literally going to play the fewest amount of games that are possible to be played in a season.
Correct.
40 games.
Yeah. So, yeah.
No one can take that record from them.
No
one can take that record from them.
I mean, we had it under Angela.
Yeah, we had 41.
Yeah. But you know, so for them, it's become a massive plus for them. And whilst everyone else is tiring, I mean, imagine having a week on the pitch. Imagine Tudor having a week to prepare for every single game every week. You know, just focusing on one team. You know, it might have been a huge difference. I'm just trying to see what other stuff have you got there.
Well, I do want to ask you just about like Igor Tudor. I know this is sorry being messed to Tottenham. Sorry,
guys, hit the like and the subscribe button if you can. And
if you are watching this on Spurs Talk, go on. Sorry, Johnny. Go on.
Go on. You take it.
If you're watching on Spurs Talk Show, guys, I'll put the link in again. It should be there. Stream elements. Not that one. Where is it? If you scroll up, I'll get the link in a minute. Just make sure that you go and get over to football. Here we go. HTTPS. Just make sure.
We're trying to grow the channel, guys, to 7,000. We haven't even been going a year yet, and really appreciate your support. We got lots of fans from loads of clubs, obviously, because Sean and I are Spurs. There's more Spurs at the moment, but you know, we got quite a few from Villa, Newcastle, and the like. So
yeah. Do you think, mate, that what percentage of your mind believes that this Igor Tudor, the style of him, like I'm trying to think of a way to word this. I'm so hungover today, my mouth isn't working properly. I think that Igor Tudor was written off by everybody very quickly. I understand why. Right, I understand why. Right, the whole thing that like Jed Spence taking the piss, going up and sarcastically don't forget we shake hands here, right?
Yeah.
In fact, let me ask you that question. Last night, Igor Tudor walked down the tunnel at 90 minutes. He didn't even congratulate Diego Simone. He didn't do anything with the fans. Fuck for life, no life, no future.
I don't like nobody.
Don't worry.
To football, I go home.
I go home. Do you think that like now that do you think the players, like the fans, are starting to get used to his kind of character, and to some degree they are buying into him? Like, what do you put down?
Fear element, sure. Fear element, maybe. Fear element. The guy's 6'4". Let's be honest, he was a very good player. He was a good defender.
Great player.
Maybe a fear element.
Huh? No, do you think though that like the fact that he doesn't give a fuck in interviews, the fact that he is like telling the Sky guys to piss off, the fact that he's got no cares about telling the referee, saying that the referee's biased.
I love it.
I love it as well. I really do love it.
I didn't think I would, but now it's
winning me over, right? Like he's growing on me. He's a grower, not a shower, you know. But like do you think the players are buying into it?
Well, I would judge by the last 2 games. I would say yes. So far, so good. I mean, when did you see? I don't remember the last time I saw such a balanced performance as I saw last night. Was it perfect? No, but there was much more positive stuff out there than negative. I saw Archie Gray have his best game. I saw Mathys Tel have one of his best games. Was it perfect? No, but it was good. I saw Xavi Simons have probably one of his best games. As a unit, we pressed as a unit. There was so many positives last night, and we rattled them, and bar, a couple of strange decisions, it might have been different. But you know what? It counts for nothing, Sean, unless we we need a win. Is a draw a terrible result if we end up with a draw?
Yeah.
We can't lose. We need to win.
Certainly can't lose. We need to win. We need to win. I think both teams need to win. A draw doesn't help anybody. Nothing changes with the draw. I fucking hate draws. I wish every game didn't. I wish every game had to be carried on playing until there was a winner.
You love draws, but not on a football pitch.
No, only on Helga.
No, but look. People say, "Oh, you're a flip flop." I don't care. What I was based on. Look, we were on the floor. They brought in a manager that none of us thought it was gonna be, right? No one saw this coming, and I got everyone attacking me. You're Fabio Paratici. You bigged him up. He's put us in this shit. I got it right in the neck. And quite honestly, I couldn't see anything positive in what he was doing. I mean, playing Pedro Porro as a centre back, there was lots wrong. But the guy had no dossier. There was no one to give him the heads up on players, Sean. He had to turn up on day one. He had no assistant coach. His assistant coach hasn't got a work permit. Cochrane's pissed off. He's gone. And Heitinga said, no, Tar, I'm off. And another one of the Brentford guys is gone. So what is he meant to do? He's on his own. The team's on the floor. The fans are up in arms. There's nothing positive in that club. And somehow or other, he's dug something out with a sort of telling people we were shit. The players are shit. There's players out there who aren't fighting. There's players out there who are crying. If you want to cry,
is there anyone right now that you still can't see that from? Like if Xavi Simons was one of the names that he was suggesting, or at least you can infer that from the fact that he wasn't being played last night. Xavi Simons was arguably one of his best, probably the best performance I've seen from him, and he started creating some output. Right, Jed Spence. I've given Jed Spence a really hard time because I think the guy's got questionable elements to his personality.
As I said, watch him do his socks and his shorts.
Sure, but also just I think generally his behaviour, right? The fact that he doesn't listen to all the spec managers, that sort of thing. I think last few games I've seen him really pull up his socks in a different way. Metaphorically, I think he's working hard. I didn't think he had a great game last night, but I can't question his effort. 93rd
it wasn't
minute,
brilliant.
93rd minute, getting back and making that slide tackle, absolutely sensational. Micky van der Ven, I thought, put in a good shift last night. I love the fact that the tackles came off, but there's risk to it. Risk to it.
Yeah.
But then even other players, right?
Well, Kuti made a couple of bad challenges. Let me tell you, did Kuti get a yellow last night? I think he got a yellow, did he not?
Yeah.
He got a yellow, and it wasn't long after that he made another questionable challenge. You got to be careful. But what I would say is, his words, I believe, resonated with that squad. Something happened from the game before Liverpool, and the night out in Madrid. I mean, I was out in Madrid and I was crestfallen at where we'd gone from there. I couldn't believe what I'd seen. And, I said, right, I'm not going to Liverpool. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it to myself. And I was knackered after Madrid as well. But saw something. We all saw something. And I think last night was an extension of that. It was like an add-on. You saw Micky van der Ven and Kuti who were probably watching that game thinking, yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it. And maybe fired them up. Let me ask
you this, mate. Let me ask you this. Let me get it up on the screen. Here are the final fix. First of all, let's start with the table. I'm not interested at the top. I'm interested at the bottom. Let's have a look at this side.
Go on, hang on. Go on. You carry on. I'll just do this one sec.
So Tottenham Hotspur, boys and girls, are currently in 16 points, right? We're 1 point ahead of West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and we are 2 points behind Leeds. I think we can all safely say that in all likelihood, Palace are safe, even though there's an argument to say that you might actually need 40, 41 points this season to to be safe. Right, it's possible. 1 point apart. Tottenham and Forest played tonight. They play on Sunday. West Ham have got Villa. Villa in a bit of free fall, which is a concern. Now, Johnny, you there? You back? I'm not sure you're back or not.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Right,
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Well, I can't see you. I'm looking at the off screen. This is Tottenham's fixtures. 8 games left. Forest, Sunderland away, Brighton at home, Wolves away, Villa away, which I think most people gave 0 points for on our predictions. But Villa, again, free fall at the moment. We'll see what happens there. Leeds at home, another crucial game in all likelihood. Chelsea away and Everton. Compare that to Forest. Forest have got Spurs.
Yeah.
They've got Villa. They've got Villa then at home. Again, not sure what's going on with Villa. Burnley, Sunderland away. So both Tottenham and Villa, Tottenham and Forest have both got Sunderland. Both Tottenham and Forest have both got Chelsea. They then got Newcastle, Manchester United, and Bournemouth.
Yeah, they're at home to quite a few of those games. Listen,
the tougher games are at home, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, Sunderland. I think if Granit Xhaka is playing, he'll definitely want to get one over us. Sunderland are a different team when he plays. He's like the glue that binds them together. And they've got some good players there. I don't think Sunderland will be a cakewalk.
Could this be
career for that game?
What's going on there? Could this be the? Could that one there on the last game? Sorry, not that one. This one here. What are we doing here? This one here.
Yeah.
West Ham Leeds. Final game of the season. That could be everything, couldn't it?
Could be a decider, but we're playing them the week before that, are we not? Or is it two weeks before?
We've got them in a few weeks before that. At the moment, I don't think there's a lot of difference between the fixture lists of Nottingham Forest, West Ham, and Tottenham and Leeds. I think all 4 of these teams have got some games that are difficult on paper, and all four of them have got teams that are easy on paper. Tottenham's odds of being relegated have lengthened from odds-on favourite last week, and then since the Liverpool game, and then again after last night, they've stretched back out now. You can get 5-2 if you wanted on Tottenham to be relegated.
Yeah, it's still not out the woods. But what I would say is a win against Forest, which will be tough. I'm under no illusions, right? Look, they smashed us last time, so I'm not thinking it's going to be a cakewalk and we should easily beat them, because I don't. But if we manage to beat them, it puts us 4 points clear, Sean, with a much better goal difference. Okay, much better. So that's 5 points, really, in essence. And then it would come down to the long break, getting players back, and somehow getting a win or a point at Sunderland, and then Brighton. If we can go unbeaten in the next 3 games, I think there's a good chance we'll be safe.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
But it's tough.
There's 24. There's 24 points to play for, mate. So 54 points. If everybody else lost every game, we could still finish 3rd. Yeah, I'm joking.
No, I mean, look. I still think there's some sort of glee in watching Spurs go down and struggle at the moment. Yeah, just the same as Arsenal could be the most unpopular team to ever win the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
They're not a popular team to win the league. There is a certain glee of Spurs going down because this sort of perceived top 6, and like, who do they think they are with their big flash stadium, and they're going to go down, ha, 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 right? So there's a bit of that. Games
like these, right? Sunderland have got nothing to play for. In reality, or maybe they have. Maybe they have.
Respect,
they have,
mate.
You know what? It's actually still. It's been so tight from like 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever, all the way down. But the whole season has been ridiculously tight. Everyone can beat everybody on their day. And like,
look at Brentford the other night, 2-0 up. 2-0 up.
Brighton are only 3 points off of the Conference League.
Well, this is what I'm saying, and also, Brentford had a massive chance. They're 2-0 up. And a chance to go. I mean, that they would have gone right on the hills. Brentford would have had 47 points, I think it was, had they won the game, right on the hills of Champions League.
Yeah.
But Villa...
It's quite incredible. At this stage of the season, you start to see some teams have put their feet up And so you like, look, if you need a game against a team because you're trying to chase for something, you can sort of go, oh well, that you should be able to get 3 points there because that team's fighting for something and that team's got nothing to play for.
What
But
with the amount of money that's made available for every position in the league?
Well, that's that, right? But even if you're chasing Europe or you're fighting relegation or you're chasing Champions League, whatever, at this stage of the season, you could make the argument, right? Like if Crystal Palace were to suddenly change their form, I know they're not going to, but if they could suddenly go on a run and win 4 of their last 8 or 5 of their last 8, there's no reason. Like they are literally only 6 points away from European spots. And they're a team that a couple of weeks ago, people were thinking, are they in a relegation battle? Like it's like every single team still has something to play for if they can put a run together in the final 8 games.
I mean, I don't think Crystal Palace. Yeah, I mean, think Crystal Palace will be focusing very much on winning the Conference League because winning the Conference League gets them into the Europa League, the original competition they should have been in before Marinakis threw a spanner in the works. For me, look, the best scenario for me would be Nottingham Forest going down because I hate Marinakis. And
you could go and pick up a couple of their players. You'd take Murillo, wouldn't you? You'd take a few of them.
All of them. And none of them are coming to us.
No.
Actually, I've got to be honest with you, Sean. I've got to be honest with you. I don't want Morgan Gibbs-White. I've seen a few Spurs fans go, no. I don't want Morgan Gibbs-White and I don't want Savinho. Sorry. And I don't want Johan Lang. He can do one. And let me tell you, to all the people that rode on me, right, about Igor Tudor because I supported Paratici and your guy Paratici wanted Thomas Frank out months ago to bring Igor Tudor in. Let's see how that pans out because if you're gonna smash me over the head with it, right, you'll have to give me plums if he turns it around.
Yeah, for sure. Forest just scored.
Why did I say plums? I meant flowers. I'm on to plums. I'm on to plums. All right, guys.
Forest 1-0 up. Yeah, listen, I will leave it there. Appreciate everyone.
Forest 1-0 up, are they?
Yeah, I've got some super chats. Sorry.
Okay. And you know what? The way, can I just say, Forest have lost 2 games against Mitterrand already.
Yeah, they played him in the league, didn't they?
Can you imagine if they got relegated and won the Europa League?
It'd be hilarious. In the Champions League and the Championship at the same time.
Incredible.
Sensational stuff. Paul Petty, big up. He says back after 10-week holiday, and it's a carnage, lads. 10-week holiday. Fuck, are you a teacher or something? What are we doing here? Love that, mate. Very nice for you.
Must work for the London Transport.
Yeah. You're definitely a public servant for sure. Big up to you, Paul. Good to have you back, mate. Thanks for the super chat. Big up to you. Treve Lello, big up to Treve. It's become a new member. I don't know if that's on Spurs Talk Show or on Football Link, but either way, we appreciate you. Thank you for your support, my man. And we've also got Ledley's Knees saying Arsenal also signed age 16 stars.
Yeah, from Ecuador.
Yeah. We'll see where. Yeah, they're going to build a legacy. I think it's that's what happens when a plan comes together and you stick with it. Big up to you, Ledley's Knees. I just want to quickly say myself to everyone yesterday. Like I'm overwhelmed by the amount of birthday wishes and the generosity from you guys in the chat over the course of the day and the comments and stuff. I don't know that many people in my life locally in real life, so you lot are all my mates and my friends, and there's one big family in the Tottenham space, and obviously in the Football Link family as well. So I just want to say a massive thank you to all the well wishes and the birthday messages. It really did mean a lot, and I won't forget it. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget, if you are watching this on Spurs Talk Show, please do get over to Football Inc. The link is in the description. Please do share the love and the subscribe over there.
Hit the subscribe button, guys. We're trying to grow the channel. Appreciate it. Sean and I do a lot of stuff together. We're doing a joint stream tonight because he's I couldn't handle recovery. Both.
Honestly, I was in the WhatsApp groups earlier, and then Lubo said, Connor can't come on the Spurs 5 tonight. And I went, oh, fuck it. I've got the Spurs 5. Johnny was like, when do you want to go live? At the time, I was like, Johnny, I don't know if I can do it today, mate. I don't know if I can do it, man. I want to just stay in bed and feel sorry for myself, fetal position stuff, And then obviously then the reminder came for the Spurs 5. So I said, Johnny, is there any chance we can just kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Because I'm sensitive this morning. I'm feeling bad, But so I appreciate Johnny for letting us do it together on this one. And I appreciate all you guys for dialing in. Please do get over to both sides of the channel. Make sure you smash like, subscribe, share, and hit the hype button. I don't know what it is, but if you're watching this on your mobile phone,
yeah,
please
you
hit
can
the hype
hype.
button.
Yeah.
Apparently, it helps the reach. So it's not a thing that's on desktop, but if it's on mobile phone, don't forget to hype because that helps as well. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Football Inc. And I'll be back as well tomorrow on Spurs Talk Show. Johnny, any final words, mate?
No, just whoever you support, if you're a Spurs fan, look forward to the weekend. And if you're a Crystal Palace fan, good luck tonight. And if you're a Forest fan,
Yeah. Drew, I don't know what it's this. If you're talking about on he can't block anyone on here. If you're talking about on Spurs 5, listen, I'm too like when it comes to hosting, man.
He is. He blocks
I don't know
anyone
what to do,
who disagrees, mate. He's got to stop it. I agree.
Okay. Well,
I agree.
Okay.
All right.
Love you guys.
Goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him. See ya.
Bye.